video guys, and Broadfield Distributing bring you NDI November. For the whole month of November, we have been bringing you interviews, user stories, product spotlights, product line overviews about what's hot, what's new in NDI technology, network device interface. Today's show, we are really excited. We have a new vendor to welcome to our mix of products. That is Kiloview, and we will be doing a complete recap of Kiloview. Today's show is going to focus on the Kiloview NDI products. And then in a couple of weeks, we're going to do a program where we're going to bring in probably some of the folks from Kiloview to go over the full product line. But so much of it's NDI, and it's NDI November. We said, what better time to launch this great brand than right now? Now, my guest on the show is Glen. You might probably all know him as our workflow specialist. He works for Broadfield Distributing. He's coming in to help us with today's show. And there's a question we're going to start the show with this is why Kiloview? And before I kick this over to Glen to answer some technical questions on why Kiloview, I got to give a matter-of-fact reason why Kiloview. And that is, as you guys know, Dr. Andrew Cross, long-term friend of the show, of our companies. He has been the keynote speaker for the previous 2 NDI Novembers to kick them off. He's still an industry pundit. He's gone to different places with the industry, but he's an expert in the industry. And I saw him last NAB, and he came up to me, he said, Gary, you've got to add Kiloview. I know in the past you've been looking at the line, and for whatever reasons you haven't. They have great technology. Their stuff is rock solid, and they are truly a company that is pioneering in this space. You must talk to them. You must figure out a way to carry them. We immediately started working on it. It took some time to get it going, but we are very excited to now have Kiloview in our brand mix, and we're even more excited to talk about all the ways they take advantage of NDI technology. So, Glen, give us the overview of why Kiloview.
Yeah, they've been in the NDI space for quite a while. I mean, they started with NDI HX. As we go into the products, we'll see that they're doing full NDI now. Their products are very professional. They, on the next slide, you'll kind of see kind of the suite of stuff that they put together, but they're professional level products. They've built an entire core around NDI and other architectures, SRT, RTMP, all those types of things. They are reliable. These units have been running, 24/7 in the field, used all the time. So very reliable. They're flexible. Things like I said, not just NDI and NDI HX, but they're doing NDI HX version 2 and version 3. They're also doing SRT, RTMP streams as well. So a lot of flexibility in that. And, their support is is fairly quick. They are a China-based company, but we have found that their support has been very good at responding very quickly. So, that's a great, and, they're working odd hours to kind of help maintain support for us in the United States.
Now, I'm going to go to that next slide, which you talked about, because it really shows that they're not a product. They are a complete, they are paralleling the NDI ecosphere environment ecology that's out there. So they've got encoders and decoders. They've got some really cool software they're going to talk about. They've got some software. They've got some appliances. They're doing so much. But the thing I really want to stress about these guys is a lot of that stuff that people have always wanted and maybe was around and is around or isn't around, Kiloview really is focused on that kind of stuff. And they've got NDI HX3 already. They've got, and we're going to show you, they've got some wireless NDI encoders, which people loved and then said, where are they? And they've just got that whole core technology. But when you look at this whole thing, this is a company that's really as committed to this space as we are, as New Tech is, as folks like Bird Dog are, and PTZ Optics. Kiloview's in there as well, and we're very happy to have them on board. So we're going to break today's show into several categories of products: NDI converters, SRT, NDI, NDI HX, video encoders, decoders, and software solutions. And actually, I want to tell people the software solutions are kind of going to be at the top and at the bottom now, because they've got some hardware that uses the software. So it's going to be a little bit of a jump around from this initial setup. But let's start with what we're really excited about is their NDI converters and the fact that they have NDI HX3.
Sorry, Gary, I lost your audio for a minute. I think it was just on my end.
I was going to say, let's talk about their NDI converters, especially the fact that they have NDI HX3.
Yeah, so they recently they were doing HX first. Like everybody, they started in the world doing HX, and then they've stepped up. They started doing HX2, and now they've got an entire line of converters that's doing both NDI HX2 and HX3. So if you go to, I think the next slide is really, so these are brand new products that they've just come out, the N60 and the N50. full NDI and NDI-HX, so version 2, version 3, full encoding decoding. So these are bi-directional. They also support YUV 422 10-bit, so super high quality encoding. The nice thing on there is you don't need to go to a web page either to set it up. There's a dial on the front that LCD screen changes, and you can adjust it. Dual connect, so you've got the ability to connect multiple network devices. There is a SD slot in there, so you can actually use these to record. So you could record locally on these devices as well. The other thing too is a lot of their encoders, these specifically, have a USB connection that allows you to allows you to connect a USB camera. So you can take a older school USB camera and now turn it into an NDI camera. They also will pass camera control, so PTZ control can pass through these devices as well. So the N60 and the N50s, the only difference is HDMI or HDSDI, but these suddenly become just a powerhouse of all the different things that they can do and support for you.
Yeah, we're really excited about these. I think the key here is it's the HX3. I want to talk a little bit. You've heard this theme throughout the show, and that is VizRT purchased NewTek. They kind of let NDI get away from them. And what I mean by that is they allowed people to say they had products that were NDI that really were kind of NDI-ish, but they weren't true NDI. And with HX3, they've really raised the bar of what really counts. And the advantages of HX3, first of all, are much lower latency and better compatibility as far as finding and working without the network. But to me, the real thing is that when you see companies behind HX3, that really tells you that they're committed to NDI, to do NDI the right way, the way we like to present it in a full-blown professional, semi-professional, even broadcast environment. And these guys were the first to have HX3 in their products, and just kudos to them on that.
It's actually even more deeper than that, Gary. The fact is that first off, HX3, 80 megabits per second, so much higher quality, much lower latency, but there's actually a certification. You can't just go out and say, hey, we're HX3. You actually have to get certified by NewTek. So that is one of the nicest things is, HX1 was okay. It got the NDI name out there really quick, but, it had, its issues. A lot of it was high latency. A lot of it was quality. HX2 addressed a lot of that, made it better. HX3 is now kind of saying, okay, great. If you are saying you're HX3, we've set a bar. You have to meet that bar to be HX3. So you're going to have really good performance from anything that has been, anything that has an HX3 label.
Now, for the record, I feel if you can afford, I'm going to go back a slide, actually, the 50 or the 60, you should get the 50 or the 60. They are truly superior products, but their old products are still available. They're a little less expensive, and what's really cool is the N3 verse 30. The 330 lines are SDI. If it's a 30, it's 12 gig. If it's a 3, it's just 3G. The N4 is HDMI HD. If you go to the N40, it's HDMI 4K P60. Really good converters, really good line. A little bit more for those people who are maybe on a tighter budget, right?
Yeah. Yeah, or if you don't need 4K, I mean, it's to fit your budget, fit your needs. A lot of flexibility. A couple nice things about these too is, they've got, when you're doing decode on these things, they are have seamless switching capability. So that means basically if you're decoding a couple of different NDI streams and you switch from NDI camera 1 to camera 2, you're not going to get a glitch. It's going to be seamless. Another really cool thing is in that environment, there's a USB jack that you can plug into on the front of that, so you could plug in a numeric USB keypad, and now you've got 9 NDI sources you're decoding. You can use that keypad just to quickly say, okay, great, I want to go to source 2, source 3, whatever. So really some cool functionality.
Very cool. And then they've got the new U40, and I really love that product. I like to call it the all-in-one HDMI NDI puck. But tell us about that puppy a little bit, because for under $500, it's really a powerful product.
Yeah, again, it's a great little flexible device. It's the U40, so it's kind of got a lot of the similarities in performance of the the N50 and 60. It's just a smaller form factor, different form factor, designed with dual network connections. It's got USB camera support. It's got It allows you to basically take a USB camera, turn it into NDI. It's a great small little form factor. It's got a 1/4 20 thread on it, so you could actually mount it on top of your camera and feed it in sources. Just a great little small form factor, low cost NDI switcher. I'm sorry, NDI
Cool.
converter.
And now these are the old stalwarts. Now I really want to bring up this on this page. To me, the N1 and the N2 are products that we're really excited to have back in. The N1 and the N2, if you remember the early days of NDI converters, NewTek had their Spark converters, which were the original ones had Wi-Fi on them. And people, when that worked well, really loved it. Now, there's a lot of reasons why NewTek didn't go that direction. There's a lot of reasons why the folks at Kiloview have, but if you've got the bandwidth on your Wi-Fi, I really love the fact that these are available again. And I'm just so excited. HDMI to NDI via Wi-Fi, to me, it's just so cool. Now, I want to stress, you've got to have really good Wi-Fi to do this. If you're on the fringe of the Wi-Fi, no, but I know a lot of people have gymnasiums where they're doing sports, where that gymnasium is, flooded with Wi-Fi, multiple Wi-Fis and stuff like that. And that's a good area where you can use it. What we recommend, if you're going to do that, use it together with a Netgear switch. You can really say that only your stuff can get on the Wi-Fi, not everyone else, right?
Yeah, no, I still get requests for the old Spark, the wireless Spark. People still ask for it. I think we were still using one in the
Yep.
studio there up until NDI 5, and it kind of just saw the last of its days. But yeah, if you've got good wireless network, you're not roaming far, but you just don't want to, you can't run a wire to where you want your camera. These are great options. Another really cool thing about these, which is different from the Spark, these have an internal battery, so these are battery powered. So you can actually, get these charged up and be a lot more, even more wireless than we could before.
Very cool products still there. These are not HX3. If you've gone to HX3 or NDI 5, you might have some compatibility issues with these older models, correct?
No, they'll still be compatible. I believe I have to double check what they're doing for encoding, but they should still be compatible.
Next,
we got to get them in. We just picked them up, waiting for the toys to come in.
I know, and let's just bring up this slide full screen, guys. I kind of took it out of order. I jumped the gun, but there it is. Wi-Fi, wireless, Wi-Fi, NDI encoding. Great product. Thank you so much, Kiloview. We're so excited to have this back in our mix. Next, we're going to go a little bit on the software, and we'll explain why we jumped the gun with software first. But this is a free software product from Kiloview. That's the MultiView Player, which, I think it's a MultiView Player with NDI output. I think it's a great little free utility to have. And everyone who's doing anything with NDI should put this in there into their workflow, correct?
Yeah, I just was talking to a customer the other day that was looking, they're buying a Wirecast. They want somebody else to control the cameras. We were trying to figure out ways of getting them so they could see the cameras. Multiviewer was the option, looked at different things, but this is a free product. It'll do both NDI and NDI HX. It'll also send out a stream, so you can use it to decode. You can do some controls over your phone. And again, just a very powerful free piece of software.
And once again, we love this. Let's say I've got 4 or 5 PTZ cameras in my setup. I can have a PTZ operator, could be anywhere in the facility, have the multi-viewer running, run his cameras. It's all NDI. All he needs is a network adapter and a laptop, and probably like a bigger screen than a laptop screen. But even if it's a laptop screen, if all he's doing is picking the cameras, he can probably direct and produce the cameraman from the multi-viewer. So great little product. Yep. And next is NDI Recorder. Very similar utility function. There's other products that are out there. This is a paid-for product, but I love this because a lot of times when you're running a TriCast or a Wirecast, you're recording all those ISO streams to that product, which it does well. Every time you do stuff on it, you have to share some kind of processing, some kind of power, some kind of performance. By taking the recording of all your NDI streams to a separate box, a separate laptop, what have you, it just means you freed up that much more computer powering for your base switcher, right?
Yeah, and this is a great device for it. You're offloading everything to, you're not doing all the recording through your TriCaster or through, an NRS, something like that. You've got a separate machine that can handle it. You can do synchronizing of your sources, so you can actually synchronize by timecode. You can force sync. So a very slick piece of software for being able to, do ISO recording of your sources. And a great piece
of software for like the vMix OBS crowd, because those guys constantly tend to overtax what their computer is that they're running it on. It's not that it can't do all this great stuff, but you can overtax your computer and get into trouble. Now you don't have to worry about that. You're doing your recording on a separate machine. All right, now let's get into the big boy, and that's NDI Core. And I'm just going to kick this completely over to you. And guys, bring up Glenn with the graphic and let him tell everyone about it. Let's go right to the expert.
Yeah, so NDI Core is really, it's a little bit more than a router. So if you want to think of it as just first off an NDI router, you could, but it's also got the ability to do playback. So you can actually use this to, create playback, reels, loops, things like that. So you can do all your different routing, all your different playback of different devices, sending them to different places. It'll do NDI, NDI-HX. So I think really it's a beefy NDI router with NDI playback capability. So you can actually load up clips and use it as a DDR basically.
Correct. So this is software you would buy and put on your own computer, but a lot of people then are going to call and say, what kind of computer do I need for this? What can I use? What can I get? Bam. They're coming out with the Cube product, right?
So yeah, there's two Cube products. This is the Cube R, which is the record, and this is really a slick machine. First off, it's a purpose-built machine, so it is a computer. It's got a touchscreen monitor. It can support 16 little viewers, so you've got little 16 viewers in there. It's got two NVMe storages that are hot swappable, so you can actually set that up to just record directly to those. You can record to a NAS as well, so you can set it up to record to a network attached storage. You've got some controls on the front of it as well to control the recording. Do some shuttling as well. So just again, if you don't want to go out and figure out how to spec a machine, you don't want to support a machine, you just want a machine that can do it and pop it in. This is great. This is a great device. $2,500. You've got a dedicated machine for recording up to 16 in this case. I'm sorry, it's 9. I'm sorry, up to 9.
1, 4, or 9, yes.
9 simultaneous. Yeah. Yep. So you can record 9 cameras directly onto that box, either, like I said, the NVMe storage, or it's got 10 gig connections on it as well, so you can record to NAS.
Now,
NAS
NDI November goes out to end users and dealers. It's where we kind of cross the bridge of the people we sell to. Broadfield sells to dealers, and we're looking for new Kiloview dealers. So if you're seeing the show, please do. And also, Video Guy sells direct to end users. But the reason I mention that is because this product is a great integration product. If you're integrating into a facility who maybe has a studio and then 4 or 5 other rooms that have NDI, this is a great thing to put in that's super easy to use. You can train someone quickly and easily to just record the content that's coming out of multiple areas within the network. And I just love that they came out with this as an appliance. And a lot of people are familiar with products like this, from other vendors in the post-production space. But it's great to have a recording appliance for NDI feeds specifically, and I just think it's a great little product. And you can pop out the storage, you can copy stuff over to whatever you want to do. If you want to bring it into Adobe or Final Cut or Resolve or Avid, it's all there for you. And then the other product is the X1.
There's some other cool things on that. The timing on us picking up this product is very close to an opportunity. I've been working with somebody where they are using all NDI cameras. They're kind of doing a reality show. They are using vMix. They are choking their vMix trying to do all of this stuff. One of the things that's really cool about this too is there is an API that allows you to remote recording. So, they've got 14 cameras. We're talking about 2 of these potentially set up in the building where the cameras are. They can just trigger them to record, remotely, not even be in the building. They're doing the switching remotely. So, that's just really a neat product.
Very cool. Reality TV is a great thing. Let's go to the Cube X1 NDI Core, which is a little bit different. This is really truly more like a router for source management, correct?
Right. So if you look at it, they have the recording software, and then they have the Cube software, which is our router. Again, like you said before, you can go and you can put them on. You can build a computer. You can get a Linux machine and try to build your own computer. Or what they've done is the Cube R1 is a dedicated, custom computer with a touch screen that is designed to run the recording software. Then you've got the Cube X1, which is again a dedicated computer, liquid cooled, all those types of things with a monitor on the front of it for 16 channels of monitoring, and buttons, that's running the Cube.
I think when you're doing routing and stuff, I hate to talk over you, but I love the fact that this thing's got buttons. I mean, physically, I can see exactly what's coming in, what's coming out.
So I think that's the big thing. That's why we talked about the software first. Is you've got the software. If you want to build your own, spec your own, do it. Great. If you just want to say, nope, I want something that one person can support, that I don't have to worry about configuring. You buy the Cube R1 if you're recording, the Cube X1 if you need distribution.
Glenn, are these rack mountable? Do they have rack mounting kits for it?
They do have rack
Cool.
ears. Yep, they are rack mountable.
Excellent. And here's just the two of them side by side and doing 4K. Just tremendous products that I think they're not Swiss Army knives. They're the opposite. They're really products designed for a specific function, but that function can fit
Yep.
like a Swiss Army knife into so many different applications and workflows. All right, next let's go to a product this is a product that I'm pushing the envelope a little bit. I call this an NDI product because it really does a whole lot more. But the S2 to me is so cool. It is the world's this truly is a Swiss Army encoder that can be used with a camera or the output of your existing mixer. Let's say you have like a Roland mixer or, some other mixer. And this will encode it to, I want to say everything, but I might be missing something that can encode it. So you want to talk to that a little bit more?
Yeah. So, HEVC H264, RTMP, RTMP-S, ONFI, a variety of different encoding formats. The beauty of this is that you can create, first off, it'll take a 4K 60p input. It'll stream a max of 4K 30p. So it's got a very high, quality output for streaming. Every single stream, you can have a main and a sub stream. So you can actually do, if you want to, if you had someplace that'll take a 4K 30, you can stream 4K 30 to a place and 1080p. So you can have 2 streams to every destination. You can have up to 8 destinations. So it's a total of 16 streams coming out of this device. So if you just want, a device that you can take anywhere and just say, hey, we need to stream to Facebook, YouTube, any other devices, this is the device to go. It's small. It's a great little workhorse for really being able to do all that.
And I can plug a
encoding.
USB drive in and record to that, correct?
Correct.
This is just for under $500. It's just a great little encoder. It will do NDI HX, but it's really so much more. All right, so we want to let you know we're going to be having a deep dive soon. We mentioned that today's show really was focused on NDI, but we're going to have Judy coming on the show. We're not sure where, but we're really excited. And I want to thank Judy and Nicole and the team at Kiloview because this was not an easy onboarding. It took a lot of time for us to work things out and get things going in a way that made sense for all of us concerned. But we're so excited to have their products in the product mix. Once again, from the first slide we started with, they have great technology. They're really reliable, really flexible. So excited to be having Kiloview. I want to thank you, Glen, for being on the show because this is the kind of thing that if I tried to explain it when I talk so fast, no one would have understood a damn thing I was saying. So we needed your calm, cool NDI voice. People, we know that a lot of people with complex NDI workflows were running into areas where they were just like, if I only had something that did this. And one of the main reasons we're in Kiloview because they have the products that do those things that tend to be roadblocks in your NDI workflow that not only do they solve those roadblocks, they're going to open up a world of other opportunities and other things that you could do. So, Glen, this was an NDI November show. We talked to you. I always like to give the guests the floor a little bit. So I'd like you not to talk specifically about Kiloview, but talk about NDI November and NDI workflows and how just what you've seen over the last 6 months or so and where you think NDI is going. I'm going to put you a little pressure on you as as our workflow expert.
So, always amazing, to see every year, trade show after trade show, more and more people adopting NDI. NDI in the last year has really become synonymous with just being able to send video across, anywhere. NDI, Bridge helped that. NDI Remote from Nutex. There's a lot of products that just help that. I think it's just continuing to see more and more products and things like, not just talking about Kiloview, but things like what Kiloview is doing is opening up doors to more and more NDI possibilities. I'm talking to somebody right now that is looking at doing all NDI, replacing a whole legacy baseband situation for fire testing. They have fake apartments that they've done that they're running fire testing through. And, firefighters have to go in and perform certain tasks. They're routing all that through NDI. They're looking to record all of that. It's fitting in to more and more places. I think we are seeing the vision of what NDI is more and more. I've always said, the beauty of NDI, I've always described it as the network printer for video. I've always said if you can ping it, you can get video to or from it. And it's just becoming that much easier with things like, Netgear, Netgear switching, the N4250 line of switches has made this so easy for people. There's just every single hurdle that has been showing up has just been, taken away from people. It's like, no, put the right switch in there, your problem goes away. Use the right, use the right networking configurations. Again, the Netgear makes that easy. But again, it's more and more becoming that whole thing. If you ping it, you can get video to and from it. We saw this grow during the pandemic. We've seen it continue to grow. I'm just excited. Between NDI and I know, SRT is a little bit different, but that line is also blurring. People aren't realizing that, okay, this is starting NDI on my local network. It's going out SRT to get to across the internet, and then it's showing back up as NDI on my remote location. Yep. The lines are blurred. People don't know, which creates its own problems. But it still just makes it so much easier.
Glenn, awesome job. Thank you so much. I want to remind everyone that all the NDI November webinars, spotlights, and things that we were doing are available on our YouTube, on our Facebook page, and of course, on our YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn pages and stuff like that. We are continuing NDI November. Dan Mail from Bird Dog got a little caught up on his travel stuff, so he wasn't on the show today, which was great because we were able to do Kiloview today. He's going to be on the 29th. Where next Tuesday, we are not going to be doing NDI November. We're going to be doing Black Friday, of which there will be a ton of NDI specials. I thank you for that. I want to remind everyone that we've got a contest going on. That's right. You can win stuff with giveaways. It's not too late. So register at NDI November. You can still win giveaways. Everyone who register will get the unofficial guide to NDI by Paul Richards in digital form. And we have Bird Dog Eyes. We have Telestream. We have JVC. We've got some tons of great gifts from you, from New Blue Tyler, from New Tech University, all kinds of good stuff. We thank you for tuning in to NDI November. Keep it coming in. Thank you, Glenn, so much for being on the show. Welcome, Kiloview, to the family. We're so excited to be selling your stuff. This is Gary from Video Guys and Broadfield Distributing. See you next week. Peace.
NDI November is going on all month long for all things NDI. Your one-time registration gains you access to all the informative webinars with great guests and tons of giveaways. Check out the full schedule and register at ndinovember.com. Giveaway prizes include Bird Dog P100, JVC PZ200N camera, Telestream Wirecast Pro license, New Tech University class, and more. See all the giveaway prizes and register now at ndinovember.com.